Alright, hi everybody, this is Greg from Greg's Whisky Guide from France, bringing you, as promised, my take on Scotch Whisky Regions challenge by Jeff Whiskey. Link below to his channel and to this video in particular. Now, I wasn't challenged to do that by anyone, like I said in my Insta post, but I thought it was interesting and I promised to do it in the comments section under Jeff's video a while ago. So normally, if all goes well, I always do what I say, promises wise. So there you have it, but you know me, I cannot just give you 5 bottles and bye-bye. So what I will do is I will divide this into 3 parts. 2, let's say, serious parts and 1 a bit less serious, but not so less serious as it hits something about definition of a region, definition of a country's production, etc. It's a bit of wink, as I am French. It's also it's also a French touch take on take over everything on the Scotch Whisky Regions challenge. There's a little map here you saw on the Instagram and a bit on YouTube. I have another one that's a bit old, but will still be useful regarding Scotch Whisky Regions from scotchwhisky.net. Of course, it's maybe 10 or 15 or more years old, so you will not have, anyway, they cannot point every distillery, so all the details regarding new distilleries, but the question is not new distilleries, the question is what are these regions, what the kind of profiles they do provide. Big questions. I will also hit at some point that these regions regarding nowadays technical abilities, production wise, to do almost everything you want in the planet, with reservation of course, climate, etc. But basically you can produce peated, unpeated, grain, malt, etc. everywhere you want, if you have the water, if you have the sources, the grains, the installations, electricity, everything that's needed. And with wood technology, sorry to come back to it, but not many people talk about that, so I have to take the flag for this. Carry the torch to explain that we are under wood technology dominance in a way. So basically you can turn something lowlands to something Islay tasting like, and you can unpeat your Islay as well, so also you can get a Speyside profile somewhere else on the map. So are those regions still relevant? We'll see. And should we change the regions? Should we change the name of the regions, the way they are disposed on the map and what's under it? We'll touch in that. For the first challenge, I'm gonna stick to the SWA official regions of nowadays. So the 5 ones. So I will present you the bottle that for me symbolizes that the best, or at the moment, let's say, or for me, and I explain why. On a second take of the challenge, I will give you my take on what the regions should be named, existed, etc. and a whiskey proposed for each of these regions as well. And on the last one, like I said, I don't want to give away too much. It will be a French takeover on Scotch regions for fun and for discussion. So there you have it. Now, as it might be a long video, we're in summer, sorry if you're hearing the fan over there. That's we're between 22, 24. We'll have today later on and 30. So I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be able to provide this summer before a summer break when it will be 30 all the time inside. So it will be impossible to drink whiskey and do a review. Talking about drink whiskey, I have something in my glass here, capped for later on, but it's one of the whiskeys I picked. Note it's a whiskey I already reviewed, but a while ago, maybe 2 years or more ago, and something that I found really beautiful, and I wanted to come back to it. So we'll do a very quick tasting of it. Voila, you have it all. Already a bit long introduction. History-wise, I'm not gonna dive, maybe I'm gonna disappoint you, I'm sorry about that. Not gonna dive in this video on a long perspective about the history of Scotch Whisky Regions, because it will be too long and I don't have all the informations, but I will give you links or winks or names in the description below to check out what a historian like Charles MacLean, which helped a bit do this. This is the French version, Whiskey Pure Malt. Not sure about the title. It's not a recent book, but it's very well made. Yeah, it was malt whiskey. So this one was published by Octopus Publishing Group, Mitchell Beasley, 1997, revised in 2002. It's on the Hachette for France, and it explains all the history of whiskey and whiskey regions, but I'm not going to dive into that. I will also put you do a link below on the fabulous YouTube channel that gathers the searches from Dave Broom and Arthur Motley, the Liquid Antiquarian, which I highly recommend you to watch. I checked it quickly. I've seen a lot of episodes, but it's been a while ago. There's nothing published since 1 year. I'm not sure exactly in which episode they touch on the Scotch Whisky Regions. Maybe the one about the Excise Act 1823, but I'm not sure. Could I have time to watch them all again? But if you look at these videos, I'm sure you'll find plenty of information useful for that matter. So just stick to 3 dates, 1 approximative and 2 precise ones. One is the 90s up to 1988. The 1980s, sorry. At that time there were 4 regions defined or commonly approved by people in the whiskey industry, etc. Lowlands, Highlands, Campbeltown and Islay. So interestingly, Speyside, which is obviously part, technically, geographically, of the Highland regions, Speyside was not separated at that time. Then what do you got? You got 1998, you got United Distillers and Vintners, which would be later on part of Diageo, the huge major consortiums today, whiskey owning wise. And they did something very clever. I'm going to try to read a few things, hoping the camera doesn't cut. What did they do? Classic Malts of Scotland. What did they do? They basically decided of 6 single malt whiskies launched and marketed together in 1988. But of course they chose only Diageo owned ones. So they were providing these whiskies to bars, liquor stores, cavist here as we say. And then there are others that came in, but originally there were only 6. There were for the Lowlands it was Glenkinchie 10 years old. You can see some of these behind me. Dalwhinnie 15 years, I forgot to pull out the Dalwhinnie 15 years old, sorry. Cragganmore 12 years old, I no longer have one. Auburn, 14 years old. You can see it behind me. It's a bit far, but I need the table. So Auburn 14 years, Talisker 10 years, Lagavulin 16 years. So basically, in theory, the regions were Lowland, Highland, Speyside, West Highland, Isle of Skye and Islay. But as you can see, at that time there was only Talisker on Isle of Skye. So how can it be a whiskey region with less than 3? And even before that question of 3 was more something of the next definition. And yeah, so the idea was, aside from the limited distillers edition, the idea was to present the flavor profile according to the regions, and to give you something to make you feel what are the differences between the whiskies. So basically it started, so this is not exactly the classic malts only bit of booklet, but this is the one about pairings, because in France they were a lot of pairings. So you can see the classic malts here. There's more with the dessert, and yeah, these were the 6 first ever wines. You can see the whiskies. Now, am I gonna pick some of them for the regions? We'll see, maybe, or maybe not, considering things have changed. Now, what happened in 2009 is 5 official regions were proclaimed, and this will be the first challenge. What are these 5 regions? So this time you have Lowlands, and once again I'm speaking here, bearing in mind I'm speaking here about Scotch malt whiskey, single malt distilleries whiskey regions, not single grains. Otherwise I will go mainly to Lowlands, a bit in the Highlands, yeah, East, Centre, West. So we have Lowlands, we have Highlands now, we have Speyside, we have Campbeltown, and we have Islay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So these you have your 5 regions. So what did I pick for that? For Lowlands, again, my initial choice, or my favorite choice, if I had a bottle, because I think it's beautifully represents the region, would be Daftmill. But Daftmill is quite expensive. I hope someday we'll have a bottle, but it's not the case for now. It's not the case. But so again, I could have picked also Rosebank, who's reviving. I have 2 Rosebanks, but not an official one. Also for this, the rules, I authorize myself to pick an indie bottle instead of an official one if needed. I'm trying not to go back again to same whiskies I chose in different challenges, but I couldn't, honestly. I could have taken Little Mill. I have Little Mill whiskies too, closed distillery for this time for sure, but who can be sure nowadays? Kingsbarns, Lindors, Abbey Distillery, Eden Mill, Clydeside, Auchentorschen. But what did I choose? I chose Bladnoch. So okay, sorry, this is the 10 years old from between 2017 and 19. So it's discontinued and now replaced by an 11 years old. But what did I pick? This one, which is 10 years old, first fill bourbon cask, 46.7, because it really, for me, epitomizes the herbal, floral, citrusy, bit grainy, bit vanilla driven whiskey that's most often, not always, Lowlands whiskies. So right, yeah, Bladnoch. For the Speyside region, I could have gone a lot of examples. I've just noted a few ones because we're, as you see, you have more than 50 distilleries. So it's the blue there, which is in fact there. This blue part is displayed here. So spoiled for choices, but if I look at my collection, I could have gone Aberlour, Glenmoray, Glenlossie, Glenrothes, Linkwood, Longbourn, Tamdhu, Stratila. I picked again, some will don't like it, not like it, but it's my choice. I picked again for that, where is it? Glenlivet, and not any Glenlivet. I chose this time the Nadura Oloroso Matured, because I thought it was a nice one. My bottle is from 2014. You have the batch code here, a very high ABV, first fill Oloroso sherry cask, and non-chill filtered but probably colored. Small batch, great stuff. A nice alternative to the Abuna, which I could have chosen, or to Glenfarclas 105, though I believe this one is more complex, more interesting. So that's my choice for Speyside. Also, Speyside for me, I mean Glenlivet for me was the first distillery I ever come across in my whiskey journey here in Paris and then abroad as a welcome dram in the United States at 12 years old. So there's something sentimental about that. My two first bottles home back into 25 years or more, maybe more, were Glenlivet 12 and Ballantine's. There was the pure malt, blended malt version of the 12. Very interesting. So voila, you have it. Highland-wise or region, it was very hard. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Apologies. Speyside, so basically more fruity, sweet, fruity, yet still something that's, of course, it's Highlands, so you gotta have some strong structure, oak-wise, also some herbal notes that we'll see in the Highlands region. So you will have some sweetness as well. Some it's not only sherry in the Speyside, but you can have both. Of course, Balvenie 12 would have been also a great choice. I forgot to mention. But yeah, I went for the sweet yet powerful side of Glenlivet, especially in that expression. Highlands-wise, again, spoiled for choice. Brora, I don't have a Brora. Balblair, I have a lot of Balblairs, which was my initial choice, but I have known from the current core range. So it was a bit difficult for me, and I haven't tasted any. So I cannot speak about Balblair nowadays, while I have 5 Balblairs that I did review, by the way, check it out. Ben Nevis, for this challenge I could have picked that, but I didn't. Glengarry, but I spoke a lot about Glengarry last week in the last video. Glenmorangie was a bit difficult because my favorite ones are discontinued. Old Pulteney, again I don't have current Old Pulteney, so what did I pick? Something that still exists, maybe will change in the future, but Clynelish 14, of course, with a slightly waxy, caramelly, slightly herbal, 46% ABV. So the Wildcat of Scotland, and yeah, beautiful whiskey, very interesting, in the village, yeah, of Brora. So when you see in the undisclosed Highlands from the village of Brora, you know what it is, a Clynelish. And that's the way also often John Glaser presents his whiskey components. No. Yeah, Campbeltown region, which now has Springbank, Glengyle with the Kilkerran single malt brand, and Glen Scotia, for me was the most obvious choice. And this 10 years old, which is still does exist, and under this design marketing shape. My bottle, this bottle is from 2020. I already reviewed it. I managed to get me one thanks to Neil once again, already open, but very interesting, and 2021 and different from this one. Maybe I will do a short review of it. or side by side with this one. Anyway, the poll is coming, but the Spring Gian A. Mitchell Whiskies poll is coming, but honestly I'm hesitating because it's gonna be hot very soon. So I don't know when to place it yet, but on the table now, yeah, I have to do like this. But I will cover these with the second choices. Don't know if you see them really, not really. Okay. Gotta pull this somewhere else, most probably. So what's the last bottle? The last bottle for Islay, where I could have picked Ardbeg, Bowmore, Kilchoman, Brooklady, Bunhaven, Lefroy, Port Ellen. Not more recent ones, as 2009 they were not existing, I think, on this first challenge. I mean Ardnahoe, obviously, and I don't have the new one. I hesitated because it's expensive here. Lagavulin, not the 16. I love the 16, but the price getting hefty. This one probably also, but I really love this one, and I think all the wild, the smoke, all the maritime elements, but more this barbecue smoke and this gently tarry, earthy, but very balanced, leathery also profile, coming from the ex-bourbon cask. Yeah, I thought, and yeah, I know this one is a bit special, bottled in 2008. Still owe you a Lagavulin episode, I know. So there you have it, the first challenge. Let's go now to the second one, in which I will taste something okay, I already reviewed, but wanted to revisit for this occasion. So what did I do? I did basically choose to split the map in 8 regions. So I'm sorry I didn't do that physically. Maybe I should have done a map, which I change myself, but it was a bit too complicated for me. But basically, what did I do? I chose Lowlands, so a region that's here on the north between Glasgow and Edinburgh and Glasgow. Edinburgh, Glasgow, okay. The reverse is always a struggle for me. What did I do? I chose to add 3 new regions, that you're going to discover that in a second, in a moment. Of course, Lowlands doesn't move. This time I've chosen something which is discontinued, but for me really represents the best for now, because I don't have some new ones from the distillery. And it's a recent distillery in Kingsbarns. Already reviewed this Dream to Dram beautiful bottle and also beautiful design. So it's, for me, it fulfills it matches the category very well. Again, vanilla, this custard, beautiful note. I'm gonna not precise everything for each bottle. Don't want to do this for an hour, but yeah, if you go watch my video if you don't know this one. So second and third choices and fourth choices are new, so I may add them to the end, but for some reason I added it there. So for me, I selected a new region category, which will be Inner Hebrides, Hybride in French, / South Isles. Not sure about the name of the regions, but so the idea was to go there, so Isle of Mull, to don't know, mistake, yeah. So that's more about Isle of Mull, so Isle of Mull is there, Jura, and also Isle of Arran. So for me, of course, these distilleries are different. Isle of Skye is not yet a whiskey region. No, Isle of Skye is the next one. I gave away the next category. So for this sub-region, there were different choices: Tobermory, LEDAIG, Arran, Lag, and Jura. Lag, as I put this out recently, LEDAIG could have been there, but I don't have a bottle of LEDAIG, and for this challenge I want to show you the bottle. So for this one I picked not an official one because I don't have recent official LEDAIGs. I know it's my choice. I have to retry the 10 and 18. I haven't tried for a decade probably, which before that I was not a big fan. I wasn't blown away, especially the price of the 18 and the value, but maybe it has changed, or I have changed. I had to go. I have 3 LEDAIGs, and I had to go for my favorite one, which is a masterpiece, and which explodes even my Port Ellen bottle. I reviewed this already. This is a LEDAIG from Elixir Distillers, the single malts of Scotland. It's a 13 years old. This one is distilled 2004, bottle 2017. There was a sherried version of this, but I preferred this one. Single cask 10. I will anyway. There will be links below with the whiskey base number, like for the previous challenge. So 10,029. It's the number of the cask. Hogshead 56.6. This everything you can dream about LEDAIG. Gently smoky, a bit ashy smoke, so not Islay peat, and also there's something really beautiful in the floral herbal side of it. It's a pure masterpiece. I have a sample of for the next category, which is outer hybrids. So there, which is covering Isle of Harris and Lewis, Isle of Raasay, and Isle of Skye for me, and Barra, but I don't have a Barra whiskey and I'm not sure it's already there. So yeah, I called it Outer Hebrides, West and North Isles. And of course, yeah, I could have chosen Isle of Harris, but to be honest, I had to go for the more obvious, and the more obvious was Talisker 10 this time. Well, it's an old one, I know. I don't have a new label one because I have a reserve bottle of this. So this bottle was from 2010, I think. Beautiful Isle of Skye, well, Talisker, let's say, trademark. Not going to review this. I prepare, it's very late, full Talisker overview. But yeah, you have for me, this is all about sea spray, kick of spices, black pepper, and sometimes even chili in some expressions. And you have those maritime, beautiful notes. It's all bourbon cask here. Next one is the Orkney Islands. So over there, and of course there are for now 2 choices only. I would have liked, I had no projects heard about Orkney Islands. I would really love to see a new distillery build up there and do something different than Scapa and Highland Park. I have 4 Scapa, I have reviewed on my website, but not on video, so I'm late about it. But I'm gonna pick something, even if I hear you complain at a distance, and you will probably be right. But for me, because also I have the previous pre-rebranding 2006 and before release of the 18, I picked the 18. On this around 2015 version, 43% ABV, mostly bourbon and cherry cask, sorry. So yeah, it's an all-rounder, like Michael Jackson said, the whiskey and beer writer, rest in peace. So a little bit of everything of Scotland in a single whiskey. Now, of course, if you see Orkney, Secret Orkney by indie bottlers, there's a good chance it will be a better value than this, but I don't have any. What's next? The next one is Speyside, and this is what's in this glass. So we'll do a very, hopefully, short re-review of it, quite quickly, of this splendid Aultmore of the Foggy Moss, 18 years old, bourbon and refill sherry, 43% ABV, non-chill filtered and natural color, yeah. So quick re-review. Beautiful, rich vanilla butterscotch, yet at the same time slightly herbal and floral. And you can feel also the structure, the oak. The nose is crazy good already. On the palate, Slangeva on the palate, and on the planet as well. It hasn't moved a iota, as we say here. It hasn't moved an inch, or I don't know how you said in English. It's I will say disgustingly, ridiculously good. Yeah, all what I said, ultra balanced. Slight also honey coming across now. Sweet prairie, as we say, flowers, country, mix of flowers, some botanicals as well, different botanicals. There's some delicious notes of butterscotch on the background, some acacia honey. Slight nutty side praline coming on now, coming from the sherry cask. Everything ultra balanced. I mean, it's very elegant, it's very balanced, it's absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful Speyssiders, I would say, of its choice of whiskies. Okay, so yeah, great whiskey. We don't praise it enough. I don't have the 12. I should revisit the 12. There are also the exceptional casks of the Dewars, Bacardi owned brand. So some expensive limited release that don't show up too much here, unfortunately. So we had the Speyside in my special Greg's Whisky Guide category of Scotch Whisky Regions, and we obviously have Highlands. Which better choice than this? So okay, this one is from 2018, bourbon and sherry cask. Most probably it has been rebranded since, I know. I haven't tasted the new one, very curious. The new 10 and the Corley's other expressions, but really love this one, which also is set at that time because they were not producing each year. It's probably a lot of 18 years old in this, and it shows a great depth. So yeah, you have chocolate, you have earth, you have tiny peat, and you have lots of caramel and dark things. I haven't tasted this for a while. You're making me regret not to taste it. Shall I do that? Greg, you don't have time. I can have time if I want. And you have time for me, right? At least few of you, I know. Just a hint. For pleasure, good measure, and to wish you happy holidays. I don't know where you are at. We still have 2 whiskies. You believe that? 8 categories, 2 whiskies left. BEN NEVIS 10. Leather, dark chocolate, caramel, some tea leaves as well, a bit infused black tea, and licorice, maybe black licorice, maybe some laurel. It's pretty aromatic. Right, so we have 2 regions left. Campbeltown. So 3 choices only. Yeah, will it be Glen Scotia? No, it's Kilcran 12, obviously. Masterpiece already reviewed, so I'm not gonna go into it, but yeah, it's pitted, yeah, it's complex, yeah, it's beautiful, and it's enough to satisfy everyone, naturally presented as well. So we have 8 whiskies. Which one will be the last one? One of my favorite that my bottle is old. It's from probably, I don't have, I forgot to write down. Most probably has 10, 20, 15 years, I don't know, 10 years. So many whiskies that I couldn't finish everyone to get a new bottle. So Lafroig, of course, Lafroig. Quarter cask, medicinal, smoky, a bit earthy, a bit also tarry, yeah, not so much. 48% ABV, non-chill filtered, bit colored, beautiful, very balanced, way more interesting for me than the 10 years old current, of course, not the one from 40 years ago. Crazy good. But yeah, quarter cask for me is one of the best still now, because I tried recent versions this year, recent batches. Beautiful expression from Lefroy for Islay. Are we finished? In theory, yes. In practice, no. Because I wanted to do a bit of fun and fresh French takeover, French touch, call it how you want, joke. Whisky regions, Scotch whisky regions, if I had to replace those by French whiskies, will it work? What do you think? Yeah, I know many of you don't know the immense now variety of French whiskies. Have 20 different distilleries now. I'm not going to show you the 20, I don't have time. But I thought it would be fun to keep the 5 regions challenge, the SWA official regions of 2009, and replace each one by each region's whiskey representing it by a French whiskey. Will it work? Maybe. Lowlands for me could be represented by this beautiful Artesia. I know I talked a lot about this, but it's good in my opinion. The TOS distillery, so it's all first fill and mainly and a bit refill bourbon. Custard, herbal, slightly herbal, very natural, non-chill filtered, blah blah blah, non-colored. Very sweet, very beautiful, but with some character, like a young Glencadam, and maybe would it be like the King's Barnes? Between I'll say between the maybe the King's Barnes and forgot now. It's on the other side of the paper. Maybe something of the Rosebank. I don't know. Second choice for Speyside. I will go for the obvious. I don't have the more naturally presented version because I have another one that's discontinued that I already showed. But it will be the Berclou whiskey, which is almost invisible, I know. The Berclou whiskey, which is let's say in the Cognac region. I forgot to speak, the Artesia was from the north. This one will be from the Cognac region. It's French oak, new oak, and then there's some Pinot de Charente sweet wine cask. 40% version. The other one, it's called Beauchamp instead of Berclou, and it's 46%. But it's more or less same profile, same recipe. I'm not sure you're gonna find it. Highlands, of course, I'm obliged again to show you the big guns with the Armoric 15, which is a masterpiece. Already talked a lot about it. It could perfectly go for the Highlands with lots of character, bourbon and sherry. It could also go for Islay, mind you, for my lightly peated Bunnahabhain. And if I was going to show you the Armoric 10 from 2023, because they're all different, and this one also is different, limited release, I could have picked, mind you, the 10 years old as a Speyside. See? Highlands, okay. Campbeltown was the most difficult choice. I had to translate that, but the most funky French whiskies. So there is Moutard, I already showed you in another video, but I went only for one choice visually. I was obliged to pick Edu from the Distillerie des Menhirs from Brittany, because they use buckwheat, and it has a very, very special profile with buckwheat, and also this one has Brittany oak, so double funk, if I may say. It is reviewed already, so I'm not coming back to it, but it's very different whiskey than any other. Islay, this is a kind of funk, sorry, it's kind of extreme also profile. What are you saying, Greg? I had to go, and also it's a tribute also, because unfortunately this man had to close down lately his distillery. Already sold the stills abroad, and so 100 or more casks are on sale right now. So this one is BM Signature from Bruno Mangin, which is the man you can see here. La Rouget de Lille is the official name of the distillery, if I'm not mistaken. This is on the Jura region of France, yes. And this is made with Macvin cask, which is a kind of fortified yellow wine, so sweet wine of the region, 40%er, but very different thing. It's almost as funky as a heavily peated Brora, that's all I would say. So there you have it. It's long, I know, again, but you're not obliged to see the last part. I guess there will be time stamps in the video. What do you think of my choices for the first challenge, the official one? What do you think of my choices, and also my choices of regions, new regions, for the second one? And on a more light side, what do you think of the idea of choosing whiskies from other countries to match the categories? Thanks for watching. You're very brave with this slang. Leave me a like, comment, etc. Subscribe if you want to support the channel. There's a link in the description as well. See you soon. I don't know when. Bye bye.